I want to talk about Jared Kushner because he is, according to your reporting, someone who has benefited exorbitantly through his business dealings with the Saudis. He's also someone that worked to make that Gaza peace deal happen. He worked with the U.S. envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff. And this is something that Kushner said. You pointed it out in your reporting. What people call conflicts of interest, Steve and I call experience and trusted relationships that we have throughout the world. What do you make of that? Are there conflicts of interest here?
Look, Jared Kushner has taken $2 billion of Saudi money at least into his firm. He charges 1.25% management fees on that. So that's $25 million of management fees per year. It's a 5-year deal, so that adds up to about $125 million. That's a lot of money, and this is for a guy who didn't have, a stellar investment track record before any of this. So really the Saudi money was critical for him in sort of his post-White House career. What's been especially unusual is that despite forming that post-White House career and not returning back in an official capacity, the president has asked him to play a major role in one of the most important diplomatic relationships in the world. And Jared Kushner has said that, talking with Arab leaders around the region was essential in their negotiations for what was going to happen in Gaza. Now, again, what's tricky here is that we don't know exactly how his financial relationship played into those negotiations. Historically, we don't have to ask because diplomats get rid of their investments. They don't do billions of dollars of business with, foreign countries with whom they're negotiating. In this case, we don't know which decision they made that might be influenced by money or not. We just know that it's a huge potential problem. And we're left wondering whether all of these dealings were totally clean or whether there was something a little off there.
And you've been following the money trail when it comes to President Trump now for years. When you're looking at the money trail and his financial ties as it relates to Saudi Arabia, what specifically are you looking out for next?
The thing that I'm really curious about is how many new deals Donald Trump strikes with Dar Global and other firms from Saudi Arabia and where those are. So just earlier this week, they announced a new deal in the Maldives with Dar Global. What was really fascinating about that deal is that the CEO of Dar Global is a guy who's been sort of obsessed with this concept of tokenization of real estate, basically selling off real estate as digital assets. It's a serendipitous partnership because the Trump family, after he was obsessed, has fallen in love with crypto as well. And so earlier this week, they announced this deal that they're going to do in the Maldives, and they're going to sell off this real estate development in a tokenized fashion as digital assets. And what's going to be fascinating is whether that increases the value of the development. In other words, if you're a sophisticated bank or a very wealthy person, you might be willing to pay X to invest in a Trump development. But what if you're a foreign state or a foreign actor or just a Trump fan who really wants to be a part of one of his projects? Are you going to scrub those numbers as carefully, or are you willing to throw even more money at it? It could be sort of a novel way of translating what would have been maybe a ho-hum development into a massive moneymaker for Donald Trump. If they're able to replicate that formula, if it proves successful, around the Middle East and around the world, it could be a tremendous benefit for the president financially.
Dan, I really appreciate your reporting here. Thank you, as always, for coming on. Until next time.
Thank you.